Hey, what's up, guys? Going back from the video, and today I'm going to do my What If series. What if Naruto had two twin sisters? Part 14. So here we go. In the last part, in part 13, there we see Naruto. We see Jiraiya was talking to Akashi there. He says something about the Hokage job, why he turned it down. But he also was telling Akashi there was a rogue gang there trying to go after Naruto and Naruto there because they're trying to go after all the tail beasts, including the Nine Tails there. So technically he was talking about that and stuff. And he said if they capture one of them there, it'll be pretty bad if they capture one of them there and stuff. So technically, he was actually saying that stuff to Kakashi and stuff like that. The next morning, they go to the ramen shop there. Technically, Naruto and Naruto, technically we're having a feast there for the ramen shop. And mostly Jiraiya comes saying he's ready, telling Naruto he's ready to go and stuff like that. And he wanted Naruto to go with him. Technically, Naruto was saying, no, I heard stuff about you, type of thing there. That's what he was saying. And he's like, oh, come on, and stuff like that. And mostly he's like, oh, that's fine. I'm going to teach your brother new jutsu. And then mostly they went off and stuff like that. Akashi and Kisame come to the village there, trying to go after Naruto and Naruto there. And mostly they run into Akashi. Mostly Akashi technically feeds them and stuff. Or not Akashi feeds them, but technically Tachi feeds Akashi's there. And mostly Sasuke heard about the rumors. Itachi was trying to go after Naruto and Naruto, so he was going to go after him and stuff. And then technically, mostly Jiraiya takes all their wallets there, and Naruto saying he's like, well, you're just spending it on women. He's like, oh, come on, and stuff like that. And mostly when they spend the day together until they meet Jiraiya there, and he hits the guy with the Rasengan there and stuff like that happening. And also Tachi comes to their door, or technically they're in the hotel room. Mostly Tachi comes in and saying he wanted Naruto and Naruto there and stuff like that. And mostly Aruko came in and says, I'm not going to take my brother and sister there. And then Soxy comes in. He technically puts him in a Tsukuyomi there. Technically they all fell there and stuff like that. Tachi and Kisame flee when Jiraiya shows up there, or puts him in the Mountain Toad there. And mostly they flee, and he's saying something about the prizes and stuff like that. And you see guy kicking Jiraiya in the face, and he gave Naruto and Naruto in his uniform. Naruto was citing, but Naruto and Naruto were like, yeah, that's not for me. So that's was in part 13. So let's go into part 14 there. So we had to start this what if where Jiraiya, Naruto, and Naruto were going off to find Tsunade there. they're like, why did Naruto and Naruto are like, why? Or Naruto was like, wait, or not Naruto, Naruto was actually saying, she was like, oh, why those guys are going after me and Naruto there and stuff like that. And he's like, and Jiraiya was like, well, you have something that's inside of you and stuff like that. They're like, wait, what type of thing we actually have inside of us and stuff like that. And Naruto was like, yeah, what is it and stuff. Mostly he's like, well, technically, mostly you have the beast inside of you. And then Naruto was like, wait, oh, you're talking about the Nine Tails there. And then Jiraiya was actually saying, he's like, huh, how you noticed that there and stuff like that. She's like, well, a while back there, my sister says she's seen like a beast there. It was a fox there, and it had 9 tails in it and stuff like that. He's like, technically, and then she's like, technically, he's like, yes. He's like, Jiraiya's like, yes. You and your brother do have the Nine Tails Naruto and Narco and stuff like that inside of you, and that's what the Akatsuki is technically after there and stuff like that. They're like, wait, we have this creature inside of us and stuff like that. He's like, yes, but don't worry. If I'm here, there, so if the beast goes out of control, I can actually stop it and stuff like that. That's what Jiraiya was saying. He's like, okay, let's go on to our mission there and stuff like that. And they're like, how about the jutsu you promised us there and stuff like that. And he's like, oh yeah, that jutsu there, yeah, the one I showed you, yeah, let's get on to that right now there. But first, let's go find the person we're trying to look for. They're like, no, let's do it now and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, let's teach you how to do it there. So technically, they gave him mostly for the Rasengan training steps there. I'm just gonna skim through the Rasengan training there. Mostly Jiraiya gives them all 3 water balloons there. Technically Jiraiya shows it and it pops in his hand. They're like, wait, how you did that and stuff like that. They're like, oh, this is easy and stuff like that for it. So technically Naruto, Naruto, and Naruto were actually having a hard time at doing the water balloon there and stuff like that. Until mostly, I guess Haruko kind of got it first. She's like, how we can do this there and stuff like that. And so she started tapping the balloon there, and they're like, what are you doing, Haruko, and stuff like that. She's like, I'm doing something here. And then mostly the balloon kind of does it and pops in her hand. So we're like, wait, what? How you did that? She's like, yeah, I just kind of did some chakra points. Or she's like, I just kind of did my chakra there and just kind of tapped it around and stuff like that. And then the balloon just shattered there and stuff. They're like, oh, that's pretty cool there. Like, she's like, huh, and stuff like that. So technically, Naruto and Naruto actually got it down also, but it took them a while to get it down. Mostly Haruko technically showed him how to like tap the balloon there. Except like in the cat in the original series, what Naruto had to learn from a cat. Technically, his sister technically showed him how to do it much better there. Or his older sister, Haruko, technically showed him how to do much better there and stuff like that for it. And so technically now all 3 of them are in the rubber ball state. For the rubber ball there, it takes a while to actually master the rubber ball there. It took Naruto, like in the original series, it took him a while to actually do the rubber ball type of thing there. But Naruto does get pissed off at then. He's like, mostly when Jiraiya gives him the ball, they're like, why did they give us this ball there and stuff like that? He's like, you can learn it and stuff like that. That's what Jiraiya was saying. Well, Jiraiya showed the demonstration where the ball popped there at first, and then mostly I kind of like what they did there. He's like, how dare you? Naruto throws it. They're like, Naruto, what are you doing? And then he grabs it in his mouth. He's like, strike. I still like it. I might see that happening there. Naruto and Haruko and Naruto, like, why you threw the ball at him and stuff like that. And he grabs it in his mouth and says, strike him. And mostly embarrassing Naruto. He's like, ha! He's like, you guys can help each other out and stuff like that. And then mostly for the ball there, it might take a week there. Minus like it took like a month in the original series there. Mostly like it might take a week there to actually get the ball training down there and stuff like that. So it took like a week there, and then technically I think Haruko technically got the ball down also, I'm gonna say, but it took them a week to get it there. So they did there, and it popped in their hands there. All 3 of them popped in their hands when Jiraiya actually showed it. He's like, huh. He's like, it's been a week there. How you did it? And then mostly it popped in their hands and stuff. He's like, okay, now we have to do a balloon with no water in it. So technically, they tried to do it, and they're like, and stuff like that. So they're trying to do the balloon with no water type of deal there. I think that still happens like there and stuff like that. They're like, okay, we might have to do this step later there and stuff like that. So technically, he's like, we'll have to deal with our with Tsunade there. So technically, they're gonna show him the balloon step much later there. So technically, when they kind of got that balloon step down, um, it took like maybe 2 day, maybe 2 day, or maybe like a week, or not like a week, but it took like a um, possibly maybe like 4 or 5 days, maybe 5 days it took there with the balloon there and stuff like that. So, and mostly about the hand one there. Jiraiya didn't really show him that the hand one like he does like in the original series. So technically, they go to the saloon there. Like, okay, we stop here and get somebody there. Mostly Tsunade there was in the saloon at this time there. So they walked in there and stuff like that in the saloon, and then boom, and she's like drunk off her ass. She's like, I need another round and stuff like that. That's what Tsunade was actually saying. And then Dry was like, Tsunade, and then mostly, and then Tsunade turns around. She's like, Jiraiya, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I mostly came to town. He's like, oh, yeah, and stuff like that. And like, who is these little brats there? Naruto, and Naruto, like, who are you calling us, lady, and stuff like that. And then she's like, getting stuff like that for it. He's like, well, I'm gonna mostly his name there, and I mostly came to from messages there. You are gonna be the fifth Hokage there, Tsunade. Mostly, he told him about the fifth Hokage. Naruto and Naruto both slapped their hands because they both want to be the Hokage there and stuff like that. Naruto was like, how about this like old hag and stuff like that? Naruto and Naruto were like, calm down, Naruto, and how she's gonna be a Hokage and stuff like that and stuff. He's like, well, I can't really want that dead ass job anyways and stuff like that. That's what Tsunade was actually saying. And then she's like, and he's like, oh yeah, the old man there, yeah, he died there and he fell to protect his village there and stuff like that. That's what Tsunade was actually saying. And Naruto, and Haruko get pissed off there. They get pissed off at it. Technically, they're like, what are you talking about, the old man there? You want to go and stuff like that? And he's like, you want to challenge me, you little brat? And then Naruto was like, yeah, I can challenge you. And Naruto was actually saying, she's like, yeah, we can both challenge you. She's like, oh, to the price of one, huh? And stuff like that. And then Haruko was like, oh my god, they're technically an embarrassment in there and stuff like that. And she's like, you want to take me on, huh? There. Oh, and she's like, huh? Fool Uzumaki. I thought that clan was pretty weak as crap there. And she's like, wait, what? She's like, wait, what? And then she's like, yeah, she's like, yeah, that clan is weak there and stuff like that. That's what she told him. And then technically, she's like, she gets pissed off. She's like, don't make fun of my clan there and stuff like that. And then she's like, bring it on there. And so technically, all three of them are about to fight there. Technically, Tsunade said, I can use one finger on all of you and stuff like that. And then technically, Naruto there, he's in his shadow clones there. And then technically, she's knocking all the shadow clones left and right. She's like, oh man, how we're going to do this and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, she's like, Naruto does a Shadow Shuriken Jutsu. She's like, take this, Shadow Shuriken Jutsu. And then mostly Tsunade's like, yeah, this. And this goes on the ground. She's like, wait, what? How the heck? There, she's like, oh yeah, you're not that fast there. Boom, crap, and stuff like that. And then they're like, Naruto gets hit, and Haruko was like, striking Shadow Snake. And then she's like, boom. She's like, oh, where you got this from? That snake bastard? She's like, no, I got it from Anko Sensei. Oh yeah, little Anko. Yeah, she taught from that bastard, didn't she? And she's mostly they were just trying to like throw hands and stuff like that for it. And then they're like, oh, we have no choice there. Let's use it. And then all three of them use the word Sangun there, and then like charging right at Tsunade there. And then she's like, oh crap. She's like, I can't hold this thing. And then Naruto's like, and then Ruko's like, or Naruto's like, and Ruko's like, And she's like, oh shit, I had to jump out of the way there. I'm gonna get banged. And she mostly goes after Naruto's Rasengan. Ah! And then mostly her hand gets completely her finger gets completely ripped there, and she jumps out of the way, and then all three Rasengans hit, boom, hits it. Naruto goes in right into the ground there. Ruko slams into the building there, or into the building, and Naruto she gets hit into the bar there, and then mostly knocking them all three out and stuff like that. And then she's like, she was kind of afraid of, because knowing her, she's kind of afraid of blood. She's like, holy crap. She's like, and stuff like that. And then they're like, man, and then she gets pissed off at Jiraiya there. She's like, Jiraiya, how dare you? And stuff like that. She's like, and then Jiraiya's like, wait, how dare me what? She's like, how you taught all three of them the Rasengan there? And then Naruto, and Ruko were like, Rasengan? And stuff like that. She's like, yes, and stuff like that. and she's like, damn. And then mostly, she's like, why are you trying to do it? And mostly Naruto's like, well, technically, the Hokage is my dream and stuff like that. That's what he was saying and stuff like that, like in the original series. She's like, okay, I can throw in my necklace there. If you beat me if you can master that jutsu, if all three of them, one of you masters that jutsu thing, I will throw in my necklace there. That's what she was saying there and stuff like that. And then they're like, okay, and stuff like that. So, and that's where the what if ends there. So, yep. Comment, rate, and responsive to his videos. We would like to left videos. Please subscribe. His notification uploads. Comment, responsive to his videos. Like, carry out. Add your peace.